There you go. And it comes with the natural people declaring their nationality and all other systems offered to them by the de facto government operators is usually colored and designed to buy them time.
Rob Freedom says, Islam, I'm trying.
As an interim too, I also want to interject this. And I know many of you are aware of United States codes 95 subsection A and B, where the discharge and debt obligation is on the United States corporation. However, every time that anyone tries to discharge, what do? They attack them and pretend that such persons are violating law when they know that those persons are absolutely correct. I just want to remind you of that they never honor it. And so they must be removed from those positions.
I'm new to learning about my status as a Moor. Any books I should have that are essential to further my knowledge?
Can I put it this way? Your status, not as a Moor. So an elephant isn't as an elephant isn't an elephant or not. You're Moor or you're not. That's the deal. As say if you were,
he corrected me yesterday on the same.
I'm saying the point, we got to stop that as a Moor stuff. You're being Moor. The fact that you always was, you was born that. So put it this way, you're about your learning to correct your status, being Moorish or Al-Moroccan. So you can say Moorish American, Moor. Now, so the deal of it is, starting off, is start into basic dictionaries and looking at it yourself to see that you are. And the rest of it starts falling in place. Keep it simple. First of all, you got to get to the consciousness, the natural consciousness that is your pedigree, that's your bloodline. That's who you are. Now, your culture and your traditions must come in harmony with that. And politically, for sake of your economics, you got to come into the constitutional fold of government. Back into the constitutional fold of government, because foreigners have been stealing your estates. And that's the basis of our economic problems. And those foreigners are fake Europeans, faking that they're Americans and have not been challenged. So look at it from that perspective, and other things that you're asking will start falling in place.
Watch the videos. There are lots and lots and lots of videos on YouTube, even if you just put, Moorish American in the search. Not all are created equal, but there's we've been doing videos from the House of Reawakening Minds with Grand Sheik since 2011. Mm-hmm. So there's quite a plethora.
Yeah, and then you have honorable Moors.
Right, there are others.
You have honorable Moors in the Moorish Science Temple of America who will share information with you. You have honorable Moors from other organizations that will share information with you, books, etc. You can get Stanley Lane Poole's book on Moors in Spain, which is kind of misnomer because it should be Moors in Al-Andalusia, because we wouldn't call Spain until after the Moors fall. You can look at Ancient and Modern Britons, David McRitchie. It's 2 volumes. You can look at some of Dr. Ben's, Yakinen's story on his life and his education. Yes. You can look at The First Americans Were Africans, another one. Yeah. The brother on the cover that looks a little bit like 50 Cent. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
We come back.
But the deal of it is, but basically, it has to do, I think it's more of people really getting it clear in their mind that that's their pedigree. And everything else just falls right in place.
This one's a good one, too.
Guns, germs, and steel.
That's what they kind of brought here to us. Guns, germs, steel. I got so many books here. I want to knock anything down. What was I going to say? Oh, also, Carlton Proctor says, can you speak on the clock of destiny and what the people need to do with that, how they can obtain the documents and or what to do with it?
Well, now there's two processes. Remember, we have the humanitarian school in Cleveland, Ohio, and trustfully, some of the operators of the school system who have maintained the integrity of CMBA's platform, you should be able to get the Clocks of Destiny through them. Now, years ago, we had a process by which you would send it, or apply for certificates at the Library of Congress, and then we would deliver them to you. However, like most literatures, it's been available to most people anyway out there. You just got to find a few who have it. And then if you purchase the Clocks of Destiny 1 and 2 and CMBA, try to get in contact with those who are running the school in Cleveland, Ohio, so that you can say send a donation or some contribution to them for maintaining CMBA's work out there in the schools, not to be confused with people who just happen to be related to the operations, etc. However, what it does, it gives you a lot of information that otherwise would be maintaining what you call privy council or adept chamber, and generally hidden from the masses in general, and also would be considered what they would refer to as Masonic secrets. But remember, Nudrali said, I pulled the cover off all secret organizations. And so when you're looking at CMBA's work, look at some of those secrets being uncovered. And that's how you want to look at the Clocks of Destiny 1 and 2, including the fact of the restoration of the knowledge of the geometric operations of the equinoxes of the sun, or what is called in chapter 1 of the Circle 7 Quran, stations of the sun, which are really a knowledge of your culture for guidance purposes.
Okay. Kenneth Pulido says, as a Mexican living in North America, do I need to correct my status? The only legal ID.
You're Mexican, you're legitimate because you're already of Moorish descent, and you're already American.
Well, since the only legal ID that I have with me is my passport.
Legal that I got does not mean lawful.
Well, so that I got in the Mexican consul here in the Colorado state.
I understand. So now you're seeing naturalization, aren't you?
Well, that's not true.
No, I'm just saying, we're talking political.
Okay.
You're seeing naturalization processes that we were talking about earlier. So now you're not talking bloodline in that sense. You're talking political jurisdiction.
Because really, we need that.
Because Mexicans are Americans. Now, all of us, just like you have, and I'm sure being Mexican, you're conscious that people who think that human beings are have different colors, aren't aware of what I know that you're aware of, and that's the Organization of American States. That's the organization of the true American states, recognizing their political sovereignty. And the fundamental principles of what that represents, or the unity of America, should be promoted by you and others, so that we can eliminate the fakery of you or any other true American having some card issued by some fake American Europeans under some corporate entity, corporate state of Colorado, which is a private corporation and not an American state whatsoever. I just want to make that point too. See, so our concepts got to be fixed about a lot of things. And there's another point of the nature of the Moorish movement to clarify that whole false paradigm of fake Americans. You're Mexican, you're already American, you're just in another part of your house.
Yeah, well, I got until somebody wishing me a happy birthday, solar return, but I got till 12:20. That's when I'm official. But we're not gonna stay on here till 12:20. But I thank you.
I was getting teepee anyway.
Yeah, I know you are. You sitting there, you kind of leaning over there like that. Like, yeah, I got what about 2 hours, and then I'll be 1 year old.
No, it'll be on the hour of your birth.
12:20 a.m.
That's when it was.
12:20 a.m.
All right.
And
So,
6 plus 4 is 10. Reduced to 1, I'll be 1. Start again at 1. I'm getting tired. You see me, I'm talking silly now. Y'all, are you all enjoying office hours? How often do you want to see
office hours? We need to do this earlier.
Yeah, we were going to do it earlier, but we didn't do it earlier.
Yeah.
So now we're getting batty. Let me see. Let me try to get a couple more questions in. We're going to go for let's go to 11. We got 12 minutes. Yeah. Is that good?
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
You going to be able to put on? Let me see if I can get, okay. I'm confused. Some people who declare, this is Garland Green. Hi there. I'm confused. Some of our people who declare themselves Indians or Aboriginal don't claim they are Moors. Can you explain the Moorish and Indigenous American connection?
All right. Number one, look at the history. The first of the Moors who were called Indians are in the Carib area, or the Atlantis, last of the Atlantis Islands, the archipelago, that they call Dominica, Haiti, etc., Borican, etc., i.e. the Arawak and Taino of the Caribs. The Europeans called us Indians because they were trying to take over the trade routes of the Moors, trying to take over what you call in the area of Sindh, that's later called Hindustan, which is later called India, and Madagascar, which is why they make the cartoons, etc., and showing you the little animals
we
with the
saw
pheasants,
video today, and most of the people from Madagascar look just like us.
Yes, they was taking over the spice trades and all that kind of stuff.
All
and
of the movies they show with Madagascar are like animals and cartoons.
Of course, because they're telling you
like the real people of Madagascar look like us.
Because they are us.
All I've seen is like elephants and mastodons and things in the frozen. Yeah. It didn't even look like a place that has frozen stuff. It just looked like.
Yes. So we're identifying how the Moors were artificially called Indians by Europeans. So see how the question is structured as if the Indian paradigm is a reality of a bloodline. Mm-hmm. And this is where we talk about people need to know history and law, because they'll take terms that the European made up, like Indian and Native American, which are total European constructs, and try to make them legitimate as far as pedigree and bloodline, and it's totally false. Mm-hmm. But that's the connection. In other words, the Europeans called the Moors Indians because you're dealing back with Columbo's voyages, etc., because they thought they were going to Madagascar and Hindustan or Sindh, that you call today India. And so Pedro the Moor navigated the Nino, took them to the Atlantis Islands, and the first thing they said, well, we didn't reach India, so we'll call them West Indians. And that's how that came about. And that's where the term Indian came from. Never to the north, it was actually at the islands. And so the people who were willing to go under the social programs of the Europeans, particularly in the early teens and in the early 30s, agreed to be Indians so they could get benefits, thinking they were going to get better sandwiches. And so the Moors who agreed to be Indians, they put them on reservations and start starving them and feeding them drugs and stuff. But this is not India. North America is not India. South America is not India. The islands are not India, and we're not Indians. We're Moors.
Here's a couple of comments I want to make, because I know there are some people that regularly listen, and they're not Moors. But they listen. They're regular. And they're in this particular comment says, Ben Silver, I'm not a Moor, but I've learned a lot from your teachings, and I thank you. I'm trying to live a righteous life and separate myself from this wicked world. Do you have classes with people that are not Moors? I guess I just consider myself as a son of the Father I am.
Yes, and that's good, because I am that I am too. You know, the deal of it is Moorish history is essentially world history, and that's really the truth.
So you really can come to the same
because Moorish
classes.
history deals with the human family. In real truth, it does. So even though you may not be Moorish by pedigree, it's still your history. And this is, again, why you can relate, because we're talking about the human condition. And Moorish history is primal because it is the defeat of the Moors that has caused the fall of the world. In fact, the entire modern world's history is predicated position against the Moors. Half the nation states that people recognize as nation states today didn't exist 150 years ago. That's a fact.
And I think when you're teaching, and it may seem sometimes like it's all leaning towards us, but we're trying to play catch up. Because
It's
first
really
of all,
human
we don't know
history.
who we are. We don't know who we are. So you got to tell the Moors and remind them. That's what reawakening minds. You got to remind them and bring it back in from their cellular
that
DNA memory
really
who they are.
Starting to be yourself. That's all
but
it is.
What I was going to say is that's not to. We're not.
That doesn't exclude
the rest of, because
it includes the rest of
all
the
of us.
You can't study European history without studying Moorish history. That's the truth. Right. So when you look at it that way, not because I say so, because it's true. So just let's start dealing with human reality.
Yeah, and
the fact. So put it this way: the fact of the matter is, the entire human family can be traced, truthfully, back to the ancient Canaanite Moabite nation, i.e., in short, Americans, i.e., in short, Moors. That's it. That's just the truth. And they'll just tell it in a different way. They'll say that the entire human family can be traced back to the African woman, i.e., she's the mother of the human family. Now, that's the genetic fact, even though we have hybrid problems later on in what you would call surrogate mother operations, some willingly and some by force.
Genetic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Surrogation.
Yeah.
So it might be referred to in the book of Genesis with Rebecca. And so Rebecca is actually symbolic of actually a series of women of 12 in actuality.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Now, then you have...
all that were used in the genetic... Yeah.
Yes.
See, we get hung up on that Adam and Eve story and forget that's the story.
But it's actually plural.
Yeah.
You know, just like, for instance, people look at Elohim. They'll say Elohim means God. No, Elohim does not mean God.
No.
And Elohim means God's plural. It is plural. And it doesn't even mean it that way. It actually means mother, father. Elohim actually means mother, father. It is a plurality in itself.
Would that be sort of the what we call the hermaphrodite? Also, you know how we were talking about originally. See, getting into my stuff now. But the beings that we started at had both.
Yes.
No differentiation between male and female.
It gets confusing people.
So chapter 2 is the separation of the sexes. It makes it look like, oh, now God's making
even the Adam and Eve story is an implication to the separation of a hermetic form.
Right.
Hermaphrodite.
It's not good for man to be all one, or they call.
No, understand the rib taken from Adam to Eve.
Was it really?
In other words, it's a split, but it's not really the way it's talked about.
Right.
If you get the point, you're dealing with the evolution, and
but
you're dealing with the atomic structure.
But you know what they taught? They said God said it's not good for man to be alone. Mm-hmm. But what it really said was it's not good. Whoever the geneticist was said it's not good for man to be all one. Mm-hmm. Said hence the separation of and the eventual bringing us to a place where we can begin to reproduce within ourselves.
And then look at it itself. Yeah. Look at your old Pythagorean temples as an example, where it was common in culture, in the ancient of ancient worlds, where women gestated or stimulated, electrified the ovums without the help of the sperm of the male, which is an electrical charge.
Right.
And this is where you get the traditions of the ancient, what people call today, you know, which was
Amazon.
You might call them in those days Quran, etc., or what evolved and what to the Europeans call today gods, etc., or champions.
Demigods.
And this is where women produced offspring without the mating of the male. And they had special temples where that was done. So of course, not done today because we've fallen so far. But the deal of it is, so even when you're looking at the anthropomorphic stories of Adam and Eve, etc., you know, you will see the hermaphrodite nature of the being split. And then you'd have to get into more of the metaphysical Kabbalistic teachings in order to recognize that, and away from the anthropomorphic format.
Yeah, we're running out of time. Lastly, Carl Amul QL says, if her land is Morocco, why? I guess he means, why do we call it America?
Because Morocco is America.
Alexa,
go into your history, go into your grammatical form.
Yeah. So thank you, Taj. I wish you a very healthy, long life. Take turmeric. Somebody's giving you some black seed oil, etc. We thank you. We thank you all for your comments, and unfortunately, thank you for everybody who's wishing me a happy solar return. Thank you so much.
Happy solar return.
We also wanted to say thank you. We wanted to thank our supporters.
Yes, I want to thank all of you for supporting the House of Ram.
House of Ram Awakening Minds.
In spite of opposition of people who really didn't want this information out to the masses, because many people who have this information have made concerted effort to troll us to try to block this information, because they really didn't want the people to develop. Because again, as the people learn, it kind of takes their hands out of these people's pockets, and takes their pressure off these people's minds, because they're not as easily steered or controlled, and it also takes the ring out of a lot of people's noses. And so for all due honor, support the House of Ram, as the House of Ram is in place to support you. And thank you all for your support, past and present, and in future.
Yes, we appreciate it. We do appreciate it. I'll put the link down there in case you need it. But we do appreciate those of you, because there's some of you who regularly support us. And if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't even be able
to maintain the floor.
We maintained before. We've been live about 2 years now, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And once we went live, our in-person attendance went down. But our audience expanded with all of you all over the world, literally, and you have supported us all over the world, and we appreciate that. We are working to get our own YouTube channel up. I know a lot of you are getting your videos from other YouTube channels, and that's fine. They definitely come from our platform, and that's how you're getting the information. But we think it's only fair and right that we have our own YouTube channel and put our videos out there, and as well as our website, working on a website, so that we can actually get our information to you, and we won't edit it the way other people do, because it's our content and so forth. But for now, we do appreciate those who get the content out. We just wish, since you use our content, that you'd at least send a little something over to the House of Reawakening Minds and support us, because if we go down, you go down. If we don't exist, then they can't. There's no content again. So we thank you so much for office hours, having office hours with me and Grand Sheik, and I'm really grateful for him. You can see he's tired. Look at him; his eyes are like at half mast. But we thank you so much for being here for however long we've been on here. Thank you, Brother Levon and all. We thank you for your love and support. And those of you who cannot send our financial energy, just send us energy to keep going on, just some love and positivity. And we'll keep doing this. Next week is the fourth Friday. We actually have Brother Aaron L. at the House of Reawakening Minds. And that Sunday, fourth Sunday, we will have Father Hannibal Bay from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Sunday. And
he'll make sure that you get a lot of the old Lemurian knowledge.
Absolutely. We did cover, Brother Jerem, about books for newly naturalized Moors. I would, there's so many different things out there. I would say there's some good websites. They definitely should go to the Moorish American consulate.org. There's
Yes.
good information at RBBay Publications,
Yes.
.com. There's the Amarian Tribe.
Yes.
The Amarian Tribe. Are they net?
Truth Walker.
Yeah, Truth Walker. There are some people out there, and what we're going to try to do is put some information on our page, our Facebook page. Since this question has come up a couple of times, we will put some recommended sites and reading and books on House of Reawakening Minds Facebook page. Eventually, it will be on our website once we get it up and running. But we'll get that information out to you. Okay. Again, thank you so much.
Including the school for the children.
Oh yeah,
Moorish Nation.
Moorish Nation. There, those of you
online school
for your children. You can
with,
up to what?
Grand Sheik.
4 or
Grand
5
Sheik
children.
Yeah, with the Prime Minister Daria Bay.
Right.
With the school. Oh, you really got to listen to some of these children. They are really amazing.
Right.
And great curriculum.
Right.
So any of you, have your little children, want them properly educated, go to online school with the Moorish Nation with Grand Sheikus Daria Bay.
Yes. So again, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will be back probably. Well, we'll be with our class on Friday.
Oh yes.
And we'll do another office hours maybe in a couple of weeks. Somebody said we should at least do it once a month.
All right.
We can
we'll
do
try
that.
to do that.
We can try to do it once a month. So
as you can see, we be working from day to night. So we apologize for being a little restful.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is.
We were planning to do this all day long, and we just, had to kind of
even at the last minute because it's working to the last minute.
Right. So thank you again for tuning in, and share this video. Hopefully, we, a lot of information. Islam
peace
was shared. That
Assalamu alaikum.
All that, everything.
Shalom.
Peace. Yeah.